Hello, this is Captain Poodle speaking. Are you ready to find love?
Yes, ahoy, matey.
Love. Exciting and new. Go online. They're catfishing you.
Shocker.
Fiancé.
Soon you'll be flying to parts unknown.
90-day Beyonce.
Marrying someone you only met on your phone.
Be they French or Chinese, a brand new K1 visa's the key.
Ooh, the key to what, Poodle?
To love.
It's reality, yes, let's
love.
I'm gonna harden my heart.
I'm gonna swallow my tears. I'm gonna
Go to there.
It's too high. No,
Leave you here.
she actually has a lower voice. Harden my heart. I'm gonna swallow my tears. I'm gonna turn and leave you
in Peru because I'm a fucking coward.
It's interesting you went there. I totally went. I don't know. Since you didn't know anything about the Bible, but the
Fun book,
but
not for me.
you know the phrase "harden my heart," hardened his heart. For hardened your heart comes from it's Old Testament, where God hardened Pharaoh's heart not to let the Israelites go. That is, so he's using biblical language there.
Yes.
That's Ben who we're talking about.
Y'all-
You went to Kim Carnes though, which is perfectly also acceptable.
Just as prolific. Y'all, this is Reality Gaze. I'm Maddie, and this is Poodle. And if you're watching us, you're on the Intimate Portrait. You're sitting right here, right in between
I'm
us.
playing footsie with you.
Poodle
right
is
now.
playing footsie with you right now, and I'm sorry.
Ooh.
Y'all,
You need to shave your legs.
yeah, they're like, honey.
Sorry, boy.
Y'all, this is Reality Gaze, and we're talking about Before the 90 Days. What is this? Episode 13 of season 5.
There is no
part
fear
2.
in love.
There's no fear in love.
Gosh, y'all,
Gosh,
listen.
I hate him.
Listen to our announcements on the first episode. We're on tour. We just got back from Portland and Seattle. We had a great time.
We did. We're on tour. We also should let you know that the Kyle and Noon interview we did in Portland, it's already on the podcast. But if you want to see the video of that, I will say there's some things of, I think at one point, Poodle and I both got out of our chairs and ran around. Cause
Oh,
we were
I
so
ran around
excited.
like 3 times.
Yeah, or there's just Kyle saying something really Poodle's face when Kyle said his roommate had a 9-inch dick.
Well, no. I said, here's what I said.
Poodle was speechless a lot.
The last question I had for them, I said, Kyle, you famously lived with a man named Brian who liked to walk around naked. And
before you could finish the
say
question,
naked, Kyle said 9 inches.
It was, so we're going to...
I squealed and did like a jumping jack flash move.
It's true. Y'all, we were putting the video up that's on our video tier on the Patreon $15 tier, so you can watch that there.
It's like he knew what I was going to ask.
Oh, he did. He did. Anyway,
I did ask him how often he was high when he filmed, and he said his response was every damn time.
Every damn time.
Yeah.
Anyway, y'all, we had a ball with
good
him.
stuff to say about Sharp Entertainment.
No, but anyway, but he said that more off the record.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's true.
Okay, so y'all check.
We
that
got time
out.
with them in our dressing room.
We did. He stayed after the show and everything, and
You didn't see this, but he started rubbing my leg.
we talk a lot about like
Halfway
Kyle, but
through.
also Noon. Like my partner's probably gonna go to Thailand this year for a trip, and she said like, "Oh, message me. I'll tell you where to go." And she's just so sweet.
I didn't really hear her talking a lot.
Yeah, I don't
Sure.
think you did. We had conversations when you basically were trying to pull Kyle in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, Noon and I talked. She's gorgeous. Anyway,
She
y'all,
was so sweet.
She's so sweet. I love. It's just so real. I love them. Anyway, y'all. So not going to be a lot more interviews with 90 Day cast members
because we hate most of
if
them.
this season tells you anything,
We're not interviewing any of them.
No, you know what? I would like to interview Hamza's mother.
Me too.
That's about
And
it.
the sister, maybe.
You know what, Johnny? Love to talk to Johnny.
Yeah.
I'd probably have to go to China to do it. And we know how Poodle does in China.
Yeah, everybody else. I'd talk to Jasmine. It would be a wild interview.
Oh, Jasmine would be a wild interview.
Yeah.
I'm sure she loves it, yes.
I don't think I'd like to talk to anybody else.
No, not anybody. No.
Did you notice that this episode, everyone, you know how you see the opening title credits, y'all? You can tell if they're happy or sad. I said this to some woman, I said this on a podcast, and someone was like, "Oh my God, you completely turned my life around. Now I'm going to decide how they're appearing."
They never noticed that.
Never noticed it. This Carl's wife.
They're either together or they're not. It really was so apparent with Ari and Benny.
Yeah.
Which, by the way,
But she was like,
they're on. We said this on the last episode. They're on the new season of the 90 Day Fiancé. All new couples. It looks good.
that's how Ari and Benny. He's pours like this. She's like,
Benny looks real hot in this new season. He is jacked.
he has bulked up.
Whoa.
And y'all, the funniest thing is Janice, Ari's mother, is always in his Instagram pictures.
Always.
They're like best friends.
I think they are best friends.
I think he probably likes her more than Ari.
Y'all be sure
Can't
if you're
really
in the
blame
Sissy
him.
Squad, our charity this month it's a global fund for children,
Yes.
right? Helping children,
Children's
a lot of the
charities
refugees in Ukraine
And
right
other
now.
charities on the ground in Ukraine.
So we highly, highly, highly encourage you to donate or do something to help. That's just horrible. All right. Anything else? Let's jump into that. Who are we doing first? I never remember.
Mike and Ximena.
Mike and Ximena. All right.
Ximena.
That's what I said. Ximena, right?
Ximena.
Ximena.
He.
Yeah. That's what he said. Ximena.
Or actually, if you were to be in Spanish, it's Ximena.
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 Look at that.
You're never going to say
No
it
one
that
gives a
way.
shit. So, okay.
I like how their family calls her Hime.
Favorite line of the night. So, I'm going to give you your space. And I felt like he was going to say, is that 6 feet or 1,200 miles away in another country?
But also, can we sleep together tonight?
Yeah.
The thing is, besides all the racist troll shit that's come out about him,
Yes, he's
I would
horrible.
still think he's a creeper.
Yeah.
In addition to all that,
Yes, in addition.
we didn't need all that garbage to know that he's fucking gross.
And he's gross. That said, none of all that, I'm sure there's other ways, and maybe we're not seeing it, but all that racist, horrible shit he said, we're not seeing this played out between their dynamic.
It is not.
So based off of that, of what I'm seeing in their dynamic, I think these two deserve each other. I've kind of come to that conclusion.
I want more for her.
Uh-oh. The neighbor's moving, y'all. I want more for her, but the way that she's just, honestly, she's not being an award-winning person in this episode either.
I think
she's so manipulative of him as he is
it's
to her.
bad. Now, it's weird because this whole storyline this season, I've kind of went back. I'm just like switching sides.
Yeah.
And now with her, she's just playing it badly. That's kind of
y'all. Full stop. She's conning him.
She's conning him.
But what we found out,
We've known she's conning him from like
actually
early
we
on.
shouldn't say conning him. Maybe that's the wrong
No,
word.
she's
because
making-
he set up this dynamic too.
Yes, but she's making the trade-off.
Because wasn't she a
of-
cam girl? Is that what they're saying now?
That's what that has not been confirmed.
But it makes kind of sense, but it's
It
not
does.
confirmed.
It does.
So Mike set up the dynamic of paying her.
Yes.
Nelsie even said that
He
last
was
episode.
supposedly, you guys, if you don't follow the gossip, Mike met Ximena on a cam site and started paying her for camming. So that wasn't a dating site,
Yes.
which makes sense.
It's true. But Nelsie said, though, before she called this episode, but last episode, she even told Mike, dude, I didn't know you're the one that, y'all, I don't think Ximena's taking advantage of Mike.
Me either.
Mike is
I think
completely said from
he's
the beginning.
completely complicit in it.
Yes, 100%.
I
In a way, kind of like what you said at the live show, I'm kind of like, Ximena, get yours.
I know. I hear the Ximena hate, but at the same time, I'm like, she's been pretty much how she was at the beginning. about what she's asked for.
The thing that bothers me about Ximena is where I almost have more respect. Not more respect. That's a bad one. I don't really respect Elena. But the fact that she then throws in the manipulation of love and her children. Remember, y'all. She pushed her children onto him, calling him daddy. And she did it just so he would pay her rent.
Yep.
That's gross.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe not as gross as stuff like, but as you said, this isn't an either or thing. Gross can just be gross.
It's a horse race. And there,
coming up around the bed is selling your children's soaps for dishwasher.
And we have racist troll memes. Racist troll memes coming up. Racist troll memes and it's racist troll memes by a mile.
By a mile. Wow.
Yeah, it's the thing after. That's one thing. There's always a moment in B90 where this happens. Where it's like we go team so and so or team so and so, and
I've decided I'm on no more teams.
And it's not even a quote of someone saying neither team. We can only just talk about what's happening and just go, this is mutual use.
Are we just anthropologists in the world looking at reality trash TV?
No, yes, I believe, but we're not really that learned.
No,
we're not Jane Goodall.
No.
No. You know Jane Goodall's still alive and she is still talking.
You know who's not going to be alive is
Beverly Cleary.
We said that Beverly Cleary died.
No, it's Judy Bloom had recently died.
Someone, I think they corrected, said actually Beverly Cleary died and Judy Bloom was still alive.
Or the reverse.
So anyway,
regardless, one of them's
going to die.
Now.
Yeah, sorry. It's
sorry
our fault.
about that.
Sorry
about that, beloved children's author.
We did that.
Love young people's author.
Anyway, so Mike says, "Is it over? Do you want it to be finished?" She says, "No, I need space." And y'all, they kind of like you think, okay, they need space, and then they walk away, and then Nelsie calls.
Now I gotta say, if I also hate this kind of interloperism.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't feel like she also has Mike's best interest. I think she's supposed to be on TV.
No, it's none of her business.
Yeah. At the end of the day.
Ximena is...
Or as she called your gossipy friend. Yeah.
Now, but... the way that Ximena talks about her tweets is terrible, though.
Well, because since she speaks Spanish, Ximena, she also has a little bit more insight into the cards that Ximena's been playing.
Oh, she does, because that's been Ximena's power.
Yep.
One of her superpowers is that Mike can't speak the language, which is why when he has someone that can speak the language, she uses her final superpower. And we know what that is.
Ooh. Vagine.
Yes, y'all. That's exactly.
Vagine.
That is what she does. And so the oldest trick in the book, and I know because
I don't think that
Poodle's an old trick.
And I trick old tricks. I don't think vagine is vagina.
I don't know.
Como
se dice? I don't know.
I don't know.
She says. So Nelsie's like, you don't need to stay in her house. You don't need to be there. Nelsie reminds Mike. It's like he forgot. She reminds him, y'all, this happened in the next episode, but they just had the conversation like an hour ago with Nelsie. So Nelsie reminds him, dude, she said she's fucking disgusted by you. You repulse her. What else do you want? Leave the country. And Mike goes, well,
and that just tells you what a complete child he is.
Oh,
that he can't do anything unless his friends. He has no agency on his own.
No agency on his own,
and
no agency.
Ximena knows that too.
She knows that. She says, "I want you to be the man and stand up for yourself." That's the last thing she wants from him, because then he can't. Then he'll stand up to her.
No, here's the thing. What I find so intriguing about her is I see across her eyes, whatever part in the process she is, it just flashes across. She's like, do I do this now? is this the next step I'm
You
going to
see-
have to take?
because you see that. Because
It is so compelling for me.
It's-
That's why
you-
she is the most interesting character on the show.
you
This season for
see
me.
it in her face, and
Yep.
because
You see, what is my next? She's like, do I risk this for this?
yes, because you see, it just happens. Nelsie basically convinced Mike. Mike's like, I don't know what to do, and she's like, you're a gossipy friend, and then she says. Nelsie says, well, Nelsie starts talking to her, and she's like, well, if you weren't treating him like that, and she said, you're treating him like shit, and Nelsie says, basically, you don't mind that he's paying for your shit, and she's like, and she looks at Mike, she's like, no, it's not like that, is it? And I went, it is. Mike is paying for your shit because he set up that dynamic.
And he even told her.
So it is like that.
He even told her, you make me feel bad. You make me feel like shit.
But the thing
then-
is, it's not because he's paying for shit.
No. It's the sex stuff.
Because she's not in love with him.
But no, it's
and
also
repulsed by him.
It's also that
And doesn't want to touch him.
It's the intimacy stuff. I think he is completely fine with paying for her. He will never feel really bad about that.
No.
But it's the stuff to his ego.
And so, y'all, there's this moment. Mike sits down on the ground, and Ximena says, "What are you doing?" And he said, "I may or may not stay to a hotel tonight." And she's like, "You see her first flash and go, because your little friend told you that."
But this is, you guys, you see a person who wants a better life, or who wants a different life, who it's not been working out for her the way she thought it would, and you watch her bargain with herself. And it is riveting to watch.
Yes, because you see her get angry and go at him and say, "Speak for yourself." And then he says, "I feel like shit. Can you please understand me?" And she goes, "Okay, that's not working."
Yeah.
So what do I do now?
She actually does feel sorry for him, I feel.
But not in
But not
I
in-
love
but not
him
in a
way.
I love you way. It
Like
is-
the way you feel sorry for a deer that you wounded and you still have to shoot them in the head.
Yes. Yeah. Or your Sicario ex-boyfriend comes and...
Yeah.
I will say, if Mike were ever to die, he would be gone by the next morning. There'd be no trace of him.
No trace of him.
He would be cut into a million pieces.
And so Mike says, "I will be my own man and stay for another week." But then, in the grossest possible way, he says, "Wah, wah, 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 wah.
Book.
Won't you sleep with me?"
And this is when I went,
Gross. So she doesn't want to be with you, but you want her to let you fuck her. Mm-hmm. Because y'all, he's not saying the best. And so she says, "Okay, but don't stare at me again." And then you're right.
oh, you can sleep with me. But don't stare at me anymore.
So she kisses him, and then you're so right. She hugs him, and the camera focuses in on Ximena's face.
Oh, you see it.
And you just see her like saying, "I don't want to do this, but I want to go to the U.S.
I want a better life.
I want a better life. This is what I have to do."
I mean, the best outcome of that, or if we assume her at her best, is she's saying, "I want a better life for my kids." I don't know if that's all true. I think that could be part of that in there. She wants to be a model. She wants to be famous,
Y'all.
but she's doing. She's going to say, "What more will I do to get this?"
What
and
more?
she's also trying to convince herself that she might be able to be happy with him.
This is like a Hollywood movie where you see someone get into a situation and then they lose themselves throughout the movie.
Very Kate Blanchett.
Yes. Nelsie is going to be on that tell-all, and it's going to be fireworks. It's going to be good when because Nelsie's going to be able to call her on her shit.
Probably Nelsie and the friend who's like, "Hey,
John, I don't remember his name.
That sounds right.
Anyway, y'all, it's the next morning. The kids wake him up.
Guess who got lucky?
This guy.
Te amo.
And I went,
I got sick to my stomach.
gross. You literally were talking about flying out, and
You essentially paid for sex.
what do you think? What do you agreed? What do you think about yourself? Hold on, let me finish this thought because I want to pose this question to you. Someone tells you that they are disgusted by you less than 24 hours before, and then that night you sleep with them. how do you feel about yourself the next day? Like, what is it in you that would? I could never do that.
How big's the dick?
Jesus.
When you're a true dick pig, y'all.
What?
When you're a true dick pig.
Wow.
Ain't matter what they say about you. Sometimes you want that D. Now, no, this is not a relationship.
No.
But
I just couldn't. If someone said, I'm disgusted by you,
no,
I would
it's a deal
say,
breaker.
I'm staying at a hotel. Like,
well,
I'm not even.
Remember, that was a Nelsie-ism.
So
that was, she never said, I'm disgusted by it. She said things like, he is crude. He displays piggish behavior.
But he is. But she summarizes it.
Yeah.
But
I'm saying
just,
that is probably
the self-worth of Mike is just in the basement.
Yeah.
And she knows that. Mm-hmm. She's able to use that to her advantage.
Yep.
But again, I'm not mad at her for it. I don't even judge her for it.
Me either. The thing that's
she's
getting
doing what she has to do.
Doing what comes naturally. what I'm a little bothered by is the constant social media.
She's horrible on social media.
And she's arguing with everybody. And it's not going to turn out well for her.
It's not, because she doesn't know. And again, she pushed her kids in front of him to fall in love with him, to keep him there. Yep. That's gross.
So, anyway. So that morning, you guys, that next morning, he's already fucking staring at her.
He is.
And he's like, who got lucky? And he's like, he translates, if you were an animal, I'd say you were a tiger. And he's like, what am I? And she's like,
a very good owl.
You're an owl because you fucking stare at me the whole time. He is an owl.
He is an owl.
His face looks like an owl.
They do.
Hoo-hoo, hoo-hoo, hoo-hoo.
Which made them laugh. And so,
have you ever heard an owl at night?
Yes.
It is one of the creepiest
it's haunting.
things.
It's haunting thing. It
makes me remember home.
Why? Just getting fucked over a tree with an owl going, fuck it, fuck it.
Then they all go, hoo-hoo-hoo. That's disgusting.
That's disgusting, y'all. Although the owl from Winnie the Pooh, y'all.
That owl's a bitch.
A gay bitch. I think we've already ruined Winnie the Pooh for people.
Yeah, most cartoons.
Didn't we say something that they gave Christopher?
Rabbit was gay too.
Didn't we say they gave Christopher Robin a bukkake?
No, that's awful because he's a child. So you.
But
shouldn't
he's taller than all of them. He's not a real child. He's a cartoon.
He's an actual child.
We said something gross in there.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the film with Obi-Wan Kenobi, the new one, that actor in Velvet Goldmine?
Ewan McGregor?
Yeah. Did you ever see the movie?
I like how Ewan McGregor has a huge penis, but a huge film catalog. And you said Velvet Goldmine because, like me, you love it that he basically wanted to fuck Jonathan Rhys-Meyers.
And you could see his dick
and
in that movie.
is like one of the few independent films of that type you have seen because it has gay things in it.
It's true.
Because that movie, normally you would be so disinterested.
If you've never seen Velvet Goldmine, it's hot.
And it's a great film.
It's a great film.
Tony Collette.
Oh, yeah, she
fantastic
is in that
it.
movie. I want to see that new series with Tony Collette.
I've watched the first... I'm in 3 episodes, and this is pieces of her. I like it. I wish it was more psychological. I'm worried that it might... there's too many secrets, but maybe I'm wrong. I'm going to keep watching it.
All right.
Yep. I love her in it, though.
Is her acting wonderful?
She's
Were you
always
with
great.
me, or was that Sissy when we saw her at Target and had a conversation with her?
I've never heard that.
It was with Sissy, our old roommate. We were at the Target West Hollywood. It's when she was pregnant. We were in line, and she actually commented.
I adore her.
She commented on something like, we were talking, like she interrupted our conversation, like in a friendly way, and we ended up having like a 15-minute conversation in the Target line.
Did you know who she was?
Oh, yeah. It was literally because y'all, United States of Terror is like one of my top 3 favorite shows of all time, full stop. It was when that show was airing.
Oh,
I love that show. I'm so sad it got canceled.
yeah. That's
Did.
that's the story. So anyway,
It was my pushing daisies. Does that make you feel better?
I loved that show, but no,
You were
the
distraught
problem,
when that
you
show
know
got
what?
canceled.
No, I really wasn't. The second season of that show, the rules started changing, and it went downhill so quickly.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, she basically says later on, I slept with him because he wanted to leave. Full stop.
Full stop.
Yeah.
Full stop. And so they're going to dinner, and so they're having dinner, and Mike's like, so how are we doing from last night? And Ximena goes...
Again, constantly taking the temperature, you guys. But this is not in a way to make communication.
No.
This is a way to saying, how am I doing, coach?
And then, okay, so the night before you're going home, now you fucked her that night when you got home, and now you say, do you want to talk about the wedding now?
Because that's what he wants. That's what he wants, and he thinks that will make her excited, but it's just not going to. He doesn't know her. He does not know her at all.
Now, that said, he doesn't know her because she won't let him.
True.
She won't. Y'all, it is literally, she's not a tiger. Y'all, she's a very, are you grinding? Put your phone down.
No.
This is on video. They see you. They see you.
I got
what I have to deal with.
I got like 6 texts, so I didn't want to make sure everything was okay.
Nothing. Hey, when my brother called me and my dad shitting in the bed, I just let it go. That's not true.
You
I
didn't.
interrupted.
Yeah, thank you.
Anyway, y'all, she's not a tiger. She's a snake, and she is circling this mouse, and this mouse is Mike.
Maybe she's an owl.
Maybe she's an owl because they eat mice.
Yeah. Thanks for that.
Well, some people might not know.
Owls? You really?
Carl, did you know an owl eats
everyone
mice?
knows an owl eats a mouse.
I thought they ate owl food down at Johnson's Feed.
They are predators.
They are.
Of course they're going to eat anything small, rodents or anything they can.
Yeah, and snakes. I think
maybe
they eat snakes. I know eagles do.
This is riveting.
Who cares? We have our one person zoologist.
101.
Me, I can finally email them.
So
If
anyway,
you're a sissy zoologist, I want to know you.
So he says, "Want to talk about the wedding?" And he's like, "For me, it should be a simple wedding, family and friends." And Ximena says, "Just don't bring your gossipy friend, okay? There's gonna be all Spanish at my wedding, and no, you don't know what happened." And she says, "Why do you need to tell all of your problems to them?" Now, y'all, this is a tactic. This is isolation.
I was just this is part of controlling.
And so this is something that is really if you start to see this behavior, know that
It's a red flag.
It is a red flag, but not just that. It is especially cruel. Because you're taking people away from other people in their circle so you can be the only voice they hear.
Yes.
And
guarantee you, it's not going to happen, I don't think. But if they got married and she moved to New York, she would want Mike to move away from his family, from his community, in a different town. She would say, it's too cold here. I need warmer.
Yep.
She would get him away from them so she could have as much control over him as possible.
100%. You're right. So anyway, he says, grow up already. You don't need that. You need to learn to think for yourself. And then she says the kicker, y'all.
And then she plays, as George Strait's, you got to have an ace in the hole.
And she said, we're not going to sleep together anymore until we are married.
A little secret that nobody
Here's my
knows.
card.
Here's my
card.
And Michael,
what's yours? And then
calculating
she says,
as fuck.
And here's
I gotta
the
give
thing.
it to her.
She's like, you know why? Because I sleep with my children. And we all 4 can't fit in that bed. Lays the argument out. And he's like, what about a little bit of in the kids' bedroom?
Nope, because she'll probably says, I feel guilty doing that. Someone wants a new apartment.
Y'all, I will say, it's really hot kind of if you're in a kid's bed and you're fucking in their bed. They're not there, obviously.
All right, everybody. And on that note, we're going to take a break and we'll be right back.
Come on, doggy. Let's go talk to Daddy Johnny and tell him about the time that I fell on a penis last night.
Oh boy. Oh, talk about the penis. Oh boy. Rub my belly.
Woo!
Okay. I also have this. Maybe it's not gonna be controversial. I'm just gonna float something out there, a little conspiracy idea that I had while watching this. Ella and Johnny, you guys.
Ella.
We haven't seen her. It feels like 3 episodes.
I think it's been 2 episodes.
But this, as we predicted, this never really got off the ground. This was this was Yolanda of this season. but a lot more charming.
But less
less
interesting.
charming, I should say. But I'm saying the length of it.
Yeah.
This was she's like, we got some questions to ask him, and this is going to be her kind of old tomato. She's throwing an old tomato at Johnny and saying,
she got a ticket to Dubai.
She's got a ticket to Dubai. She's got a ticket to Dubai. And he's thinking about it. But it turns out...
And he's not there.
But it turns out... She says, you're very important to me, but now is just not a good time because COVID.
He says. You said she.
Yes.
He says
Sorry.
that.
Which should be a full stop.
Yeah, and again, we did the math, and Johnny said, so I would like to come see you in February. And she's like, you want me to wait 7... So I did the math. It was July of 2021. Y'all, that's when at least the U.S., that's when we were raging in COVID.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't there because because a lot of very rural,
as you say.
rural areas at first said COVID's not really affecting us. That came to pass that did not happen. It ended up affecting everyone.
Guess right now, even though we're in the end of kind of Omicron, or what we think is the end, guess what state is still having outbreaks? Idaho.
Really?
They're the last ones.
I just read that China's been having outbreaks.
Yep. Omicron, because because of Omicron was
delayed there.
They had to control it so much. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're just now getting it.
So he says,
yes, so
I
y'all,
want to postpone to February. And then
literally at the worst time.
And then he's like, I just honestly, it's too long for me to be quarantined with my job.
Remember, y'all, it's like he has to be quarantined for 2 weeks.
A 4-week quarantine.
Or something crazy, because that's when nobody knew. That was still very new. Nobody knew what was going on.
I believe the 2-week quarantine is for one is for his city and one is for his province or something like that, or maybe his job.
Yeah.
So that's 4 weeks of work he's going to lose.
And it just shows you, like we just illustrated, that's how tough China was on these restrictions, and they're just now experiencing Omicron.
Yeah. And she's like, why are you letting COVID ruin my life?
I have tears. Let me make you feel bad.
No. She barely has it. She was able to squeeze 1 or 2 out by clenching her butt really hard.
Yeah.
But I want to say here, you guys, he says, have a little faith in me, and I don't. She's like, I just don't want to keep waiting because I'll be single by 37. It sounds. This whole thing.
How old is
sounds
she
like
again?
She's 32, 33.
Yeah, okay.
But anyway,
this whole thing sounds what? I'm sorry.
No, it's just her issues are always the most important.
Oh, this is jumping ahead, but she, at the end, when she's crying, she's not upset that she sees that she hurt him by telling him all this. And did you notice that she said, I feel so bad that he's upset. And I went,
It's always her
you're
feelings.
feeling terrible instead of you going, oh, just no.
Did you? And now this is the best. She's like, I don't think you understand how hard COVID has been for me.
For me.
Guy from China.
Poodle. Do we need to talk a little about just the brief instance you saw of having COVID in China? when you were there?
Um,
Y'all remember
the
Poodle
government
was in China in January of
2020.
2021.
the government
21?
20.
Oh, it's
The
2021.
government imposed lockdown. There were whole towns that were blocked off, like you could not leave.
And when he says blocked
Like-
off, not a barricade. They built a cement wall so a car could not go
And
into
I
the
still
town.
say, and I've talked about this all the time because it's something that's burned in my mind. When our bus was going through on the freeway, there was this huge exit, like this little clover field, or forward clover of them, people trying to get in those buses. There were policemen telling them to all go back. They could not get on the freeway because they were being quarantined in their province.
Yeah.
This was unbelievable.
So the fact that, like, especially like Americans here, like, I'm not wearing a mask and all that shit, and you feel like your rights are being taken, sit the fuck down.
Yeah. So she says, I need physical attention, and but I need to tell you that I called over a friend,
You don't understand.
and because I needed such physical attention, and we were cuddling because that's what I do with my friend.
And then we did a spell, and then I was doing some magic,
And I slipped and fell on his penis.
and then I just
Raw dog did.
He fell in my pussy.
fell on my pussy, and then we did some more magic.
And y'all, Ella goes, or Johnny goes,
He literally puts his hand over his mouth.
now, you guys think she wants him to be angry here. She wants him to get upset. And you know what he says? She's like, this happened because you ignored me.
This happened because you. I think my self-worth is tied up with male physical attention.
Now,
Honey,
I say...
you have that awareness, but yet you're, instead of using a detrimental thought and behavior pattern, you're using that as an excuse for what you did instead of taking ownership for what you did.
Question for you. If he had said, I'm going to go to Dubai with you to meet you, would she have told him that story?
No. 100%.
So-
Because she would said, if you had told me earlier, I wouldn't have done this.
So I have a theory that this is all made up. I have a theory that she made up that she had sex with this guy because she wants him to break up with her right then. So it'll be him that does it so she can be the victim.
I kind of think you're right. I kind of think
because
there
the
was
way
no
she
guy.
talked about it, it felt very sketchy.
It felt very
and-
fake. It
yes.
felt very dramatic.
Now, again, I'm not saying she's a liar here, but it would be a perfect. She did not say this until he said he's not going to Dubai.
I agree.
Again, that's a tinfoil hat theory, which I'm famous for.
But I wouldn't be surprised because that makes more sense because we did see, I think, real tears after he hung. Well, when she hung up, when she said, "I feel so bad that I upset him so much." It's like she didn't think about what the lie would do to him.
She wanted him to be angry and break up with her, so she
Instead-
could go to all her friends and say, "Johnny broke up with me."
Instead, he was really hurt and really sad
And saying,
completely, I will buy you a diamond ring
I
to
will
show you I love you.
be there to fix our relationship. And she keeps saying, she says this, and this is priceless. She said, I need you to see how upset I am with what you're doing to me. She keeps saying, you're not seeing what I'm going through.
Yes.
Everything's
about that. Because Johnny even says, too, he says, this is very hard to hear. And he said, I just did not want to know that. And I wrote, man, I feel sorry for this guy. And then it's like the television read my words and she said, are you mad at me? Y'all, if somebody,
God, I hate that.
If somebody asks you
It's a
when
Gino
you're
question.
upset, are you mad at me? First of all, they're emotionally a child.
Yep.
Because as an adult, you know
Are you mad at
you're mad at me. Instead,
we pick up cues.
yes. And instead of asking, what's upsetting you right now? Or what are you upset at? Or what are you feeling right? None of those checking in with him.
No.
Just, are you mad at me? I'm bad. And then Johnny
Me.
says, Johnny fucking says, y'all, I love this guy. He's a fucking saint. And he says, no, I'm not mad at you because it's complicated. This man still has empathy for her.
Yep.
And feels bad
she
for
has
her
zero
situation.
for him.
And she has zero for him.
Yeah.
He said, I can understand her wanting to do this.
Did you the concept of
Hold on. Seeing him hurt, that really hurt me. That's what she said. That really hurt me. When she said that, I was like, you're gross.
Because Ella's pain is the most important pain.
And I went,
for everybody.
Now we know how Mother Ella, why she just spends time with the cows on the ranch.
It's a childish behavior. Ella is very spoiled.
Ella is 10 years old inside.
Yep. Boy, I can only imagine the hate Ella has gotten online after this.
Oh, I am very. I kind of, when I think about people on the tell-all,
I do not want her to be there because
I do.
They're going to come for her.
I do because I kind of know how everybody's going to react. I don't know yet how Ella's going to react. She's not. Doesn't seem very articulate of her feelings and well spoken. So is she going to go into cry mode, or is she going to? I don't know. I just don't know.
Let's talk about.
Do you know where you're going to? Do you know the thing that life is showing you? Where are you going to? Do you know?
We're in Huacachina still. I want to go to Huacachina.
Yeah, it looks beautiful. You know,
Yeah.
The day is beautiful. Also, I want to go where Kim and Usman are looks beautiful, but
It's too resorty for me.
I want to go where Gino and Jasmine are.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
That looks gorgeous.
Like on a mountain.
Yes.
Y'all, we remember we ended with him saying, I'm feeling she's judging me about how I've blah blah blah, and I don't think my past is relevant. So, what else do you do after doing that? But you write 10 pages of text.
Because Mahogany says, I didn't like his answers yesterday. She said, so I suggested we go to breakfast tomorrow morning. He said, okay. But when I came back to my room, he just bombarded me with all of these text messages.
Yeah. This is the
He sent me a message saying that God has hardened my heart against him.
This is related to love bombing. This is related to because you can do it so the person won't respond.
Well, it's love bombing, then it becomes victim blaming.
Yeah. So y'all, he basically says, I wrote this down word for word because it is so Christian evangelical theology using that and he knows that will hurt her more. It's absolutely diabolical. And he says, it seems that God has hardened your heart towards me. And that's what God supposedly did towards Pharaoh. Mm-hmm. Because what's fucked up here even more is God hardened Pharaoh's heart to go after the Israelites. So they could be destroyed. And so they would go across the Red Sea.
So now he's the victim in this. That's what basically he's saying.
Yep.
Because
God had his reasons. God had his reasons.
He did. Which he kind of is a victim in the fact of, y'all, Mahogany's parents showed up by surprise because they want to get their liver. I'm telling you, Ben, don't take an ice bath.
I feel like they're here because they're part of the scheme too.
They're telling you,
on the con.
They want the liver.
Now, he's like, you fear who I am and my intentions, but there's no room in love in that. Therefore, this is not love, but know this. I do love you, and I always will. The worst trick in the book is to say, but you may not love me. But I will always love you.
I will always love you. I
I had the last laugh. I'm
had-
a deep person.
I'm a deep person.
You will have another life, but I will always love you since I'm a wonderful giving person.
What you're gonna see in this, we kind of already knew this, y'all. Mike is he's
Ben.
Ben. I'm sorry, Ben is a serial controller. Mm-hmm. Like, and I want to say that, like, again, this is
I
a
think
little
most
tinfoil.
controllers are serial controllers.
That's true. I say this is a little tinfoil hat, but I will say this: he's the type of person that I feel like would flip on you and beat the shit out of you and kill you. I feel like that he's.
I don't want to get into libel.
But I don't care. I just feel like he is crazy in the way that, like, his thinking, and he's so. Once he has something in his mind, he is not only the hero; he is the king of his story.
No,
And when you go against the king goes after you.
Yeah.
And slaughters you.
Yeah. Anyway, y'all. She says she's basically talking to him, or to the next day.
To her
She's
parents.
She's at brunch or breakfast with the parents, and she's like, "Oh, they were worried about me, so they came because they heard that I was."
If these are real parents, we still think they're hired. But I would say
She does look like the mother.
She does look like
but
the mother.
It does feel like the parents are in on something.
it does. But if it's legitimate, these are good parents, because I would be totally freaked out if my daughter was with this guy too.
That you didn't know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there, she does say, "Oh, I'm of age. You didn't have to do that." And Mom said, "We want to know him better and know his intentions." And she's like, "Well, why do you like him?" And y'all, this is the thing. This is why this feels like either like she just happened onto this relationship and she's kind of seeing where it's going to play out, or she doesn't want to turn him down, or she likes the show. She likes being on the show. But she said the only thing she has is, I love that he loves God.
Nothing.
That's it.
Y'all, so here's the deal. That's not really about him.
No.
That's not even about his behavior, what he does for her.
Yeah.
That's not even about how he makes her feel.
Wonder what they were talking about for months, because she doesn't know about his ex-wife and the other girl. What could they have been
Well,
talking
she doesn't
about?
know about why it went sour.
Right.
I don't know, but Ben said in all the text messages that he poured out everything about his wife.
If someone did those really quickly, I would love to see what they said. I'm sure some Reddit person
Did they do? Oh, did they show all of
Yeah,
them?
they did it really fast, so it only clicked up to that.
I would love to find
I'm
that.
sure some Redditor did it.
Because it had to be translated too.
Yep.
Oh,
No. Well, maybe. Yeah, it probably did.
Because it showed they did show some text, and they did a really cool y'all, they're making money on 90 Day Fiancé. They like have cool
No
graphics
shit.
that are like fading into like Spanish and English. I was impressed.
Anyway, so y'all, guess what? She's like, she's talking to her parents, but the relationships with his ex-wife and the fiance and the girlfriend, he won't admit any fault.
And the mom goes,
That is a huge red flag, you guys.
Huge red flag.
If all your relationships have gone south because of the other person,
narcissist.
yeah. I'll be honest, I've fucked up most of mine.
True. That's true. That's true. And the mom says, well, where has Ben now? Isn't he supposed to meet you? And she said, he's late. And then, so y'all, they did it. This was edited great, because then now we see Ben.
He's
Ben is
packing.
I feel really weird this morning.
She's checked out.
I don't know what I'm going to tell her. She's checked. Yeah. He said, I gave her everything she needed.
During my morning devotions.
Yes. Oh, but the thing is, though,
he can never get away from how fucking pious he is. He makes me
pious
want
is
to
a
punch
great word.
a wall.
He is so fucking pious. And this is a man who complained he just wanted to see her. Y'all remember, he forced himself onto her.
Yes, she said don't come.
She said don't come. He came to this country.
Like a stalker.
She didn't meet him at the town.
She went to her
He
town.
came to her hometown.
Every boundary she set,
Every
he's
boundary
broken.
he crossed. And now this man is such a fucking spineless coward. He can't walk 3 minutes to breakfast to meet her in person and face his demons.
Welcome to where I was on episode 2 with Ben. Now you're there.
But this, I went, this is where I decided, if they take your kidney, I don't care.
I haven't cared about him the whole time. So
No, I never cared about him.
I haven't really cared about her either.
But it's his treatment of her is borderline abusive, and will be, if they were together, will become abusive.
She has definitely lied to him.
She has.
Yeah, so let's make some clarity there.
But there's a difference. It's not I don't feel like, I know she's a robot. So if she's not a robot and she's a real person, it almost seems like she has lied to him to either save face or look good in his eyes, like a young, naive, I'm going to tell them what they want to hear.
Yes, that's what it is.
This is not a Ximena.
That's what it is.
If she's not a robot and they don't want
her liver.
their liver.
I still think if she's not a robot or a con, she is extremely withholding for what she wants to say, and she also does not take this whole thing seriously.
Yes.
She's got terrible instincts about people. I would say
say
that's
that
her
a million
biggest
times.
issue.
And I think the only thing that makes me kind of start to believe her life, her that she actually has a soul and is a real person, is I think her parents know that. Mm-hmm. I think her parents follow her because they're like, yeah, our baby girl isn't good with making decisions.
Right. But during the morning devotion, he read that. He's like, that was my Bible verse, was there's no fear in love. That's from the book of 3 Timothy 9. There is no 3 Timothy.
There's no 3 Timothy. And so she sends him a text, and he responds, I sent you texts, and I take your silence very seriously. How dare you?
I could have chewed nails when I read that.
That's the red flag to me that says abusive and could be physically
It's also
harmful.
extremely cruel.
It's cruel. It is cruel, and it's saying you didn't respond to the king.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh,
Totally.
y'all!
I wrote, "What a little bitch."
He sends chills down my back.
He wouldn't even meet her for breakfast.
Y'all, if you're in a relationship and you're with a man who says things to you like, "Why didn't you answer me?" and your silence, y'all, really,
and
you might want to think about getting out of the relationship.
Well, they're always positioning themselves over you by saying, your silence to me spoke volumes.
Yes.
Because you should answer me.
You didn't defend me to someone. They're always making you feel like you're not doing enough and that you're not speaking up and defending and protecting and loving them.
Or like, why am I always feeling bad about myself?
I'm telling you, y'all, if you're listening to this and you get a sick stomach, you're in a fucking bad relationship, and you got to get out of that.
Yep.
Call a friend, call a family member, get help, and get out.
Yep. You people. The thing is,
because he will.
People
abusive.
know if they're in an unhealthy relationship. A lot of times, they just don't know how to leave.
They don't know how to leave,
and they don't.
But I don't think Mahogany, because she hasn't been around him, even knows.
They're not in a relationship.
They're not in a relationship.
He just thinks they are.
He thinks, yeah.
But no, this is how it starts.
Yeah.
And after a long time, but people, I guarantee
this is not normal behavior of the way people treat people.
You will have people in your life, either your friends or family, who can help you. And as we've said before, if all of your friends don't like your boyfriend, or none of your family likes your boyfriend, there's a reason.
And if you don't have anybody, we've had people literally in the Sissy Squad in our Facebook group say, I think my husband or I think my partner is a controller, or how do I get out of this? And there's a lot of sissies that have been through that.
There's a lot of, and then people that post in the Sissy Squad, and there are places like the National
Rain.
because
we're not a therapy. They're not a therapy support group.
No,
we're just a Facebook group. But if you need people that have been through it for resources, it could be a good place.
Yeah, but this could definitely get abusive really fast.
Yeah, that's the triggers of it.
But anyway,
and this last one is even the worst.
Yeah. she's
what
like,
does he say? What does he decide? What she says, my parents are here. And instead of coming, what has been said?
I would much rather talk to your parents in private to barter for you.
What gives him the right?
Well,
this was the reddest flag at all.
he thinks that they will give him some answers in a way, even though he is not providing any.
I don't think he wants answers. Maybe answers. I think he wants to tell them how wrong their daughter is.
Oh.
It'll be interesting to see. Maybe he'll do a little bit of both.
It's
he's
gross.
scary.
It's gross.
He's scary.
And the parents are like, "We're free and we'll listen." And she even says, "Does he think that what my parents think is more important?" Yes, that's this idea because he sees you as a frivolous little girl that could be controlled by what your parents say.
Yes.
That's the thing. That's why he's talking to the parents, because he thinks the parents control her.
And the parents will say, you need to marry him and be a good wife to him.
Yep.
That's the show.
Yay!
Yay, a high note, y'all. Sometimes 90 Day Fiancé. No saxophone solo at the end of this episode.
Especially at the end of the season.
It's
man.
all the shit's rising to the top of the water, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
It's all rising. All right, everybody, go to realitygaze.com. That's where you can see our live shows on the East Coast. We're coming. It better be fucking warm weather in April. If there's a fucking polar bomb in Boston, I don't know.
It could be in Boston. There could be
If
snow
it
still.
gets, y'all, it better be warm. I'm going to be pissed if Philadelphia is a fucking freak winter storm.
DC, it could possibly get us too.
I'll be so angry. I don't know if I'll go.
And I'll do the show. I'll call up. I'm sure. I wonder who's still in DC who can do the show with me. I'll call maybe Hillary Clinton will do the show with me.
Yeah.
She's busy these days.
She's
so.
busy these days.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, y'all, go see you can go to our Reality Gaze or the Linktree link in our Instagram to go to get our live show information. Philadelphia is a low ticket warning. So if you want to go to Philly, I think we might have like 15 tickets left for that
sounds
show.
about right.
DC
plenty
VIPs
of tickets, are sold out.
But plenty of regular tickets to DC.
Atlanta is sold out. We will be coming around to Atlanta again. Sorry if you didn't get those. Those sold out pretty quickly, and there are still tickets available for Nashville.
I think, Nashville and Boston, I think, are... Nashville, we have quite a bit of tickets left still because it's later
bigger
in
venue.
April.
So is Boston.
Boston, though, we're like at 70% sold at Boston.
I thought that was Philly. No, you're right. I'm thinking Philly.
Philly is like 80%.
Yeah.
So anyway, y'all, they're getting sold out. So
I would not sleep on this.
Things are changing with communities and counties and states as far as COVID.
We are following the guidelines because that the county is setting.
Yes, that each theater will be having their COVID guidelines on their theater website. Often they will email you before. We are following that. For instance, shows have been vaxxed, but when we went to Seattle, the guidelines loosened. So if somebody had a vaccination or if they had a 24-hour negative COVID test, they were allowed to come to our show. And so just check those for your own city and don't ask us because honestly, we're running around. We don't fucking know. We're just showing up. We're just showing up with two trunks of shirts.
Things are also changing, so things may be different.
It could get stricter.
Yeah,
we don't.
Don't
know.
say that. Don't say that.
No, I don't think so. But yeah,
put that in the ether.
All right, everybody. Go to Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. We're all on that. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, and as we said, join us in the Sissy Squad. It's not a support group, but it is a supportive
group.
It's a supportive group, and it's also we have fun.
A fun
in there.
group.
We have fun in there. We call these people Lonely Hearts, Poodle, because aren't we all just lonely hearts looking for love in all the wrong places?
Yes, and if you have, like me, many times, all of a sudden just slipped, done a flip, and fallen on a dick.
Oh.
It happens more than you think. Million and one shot, Doc. Your Siri just sassed me. You can call us. Call us if you've slipped and fell on a dick.